Stauffer.
Here.
Braska.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Allgaiers here. Elliott. Brandon.
Here.
Wingelmeyer. Greenway.
I am here.
Cuxy.
Here. I'll entertain a motion to excuse Dave and John from the meeting. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? They are excused. Okay, before you have the agenda for the special board meeting, we cannot deviate from this agenda, so I will, if there's no comments or questions or changes as far as typos or things like that, I'll entertain a motion to accept it as written.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on to public comment. These will be for items on the agenda. We will now allow any members from the public to stand up and provide a comment. Just state your name and your address, please. Okay, hearing none, seeing none. We'll move into the next agenda item under new business, which is the DDA director position. I want to again thank council for the meeting on Monday. I thought it was very productive, and I was happy that we could see a way forward on this. The job description was sent out. Hopefully you all had a chance to review it. The only thing that I can see, Hillary, is under qualifications, we do have written and oral communications twice.
Oh, sorry about that.
We have excellent, and then we have skill. I like excellent.
Okay.
And then in the job demands and work environment, just some comments, commas. In the may involve standing, walking, kneeling, and lifting.
Yes.
Okay, and the same with the line above it too.
Linda, I'm sorry, at home people can't hear on the
Oh,
microphone.
okay, I'm sorry.
They're not on.
Everybody make sure your microphones are on.
Mine's on.
Checking.
Okay. Thank you. We always need somebody from home to raise their hand and say, hey, we can't hear you. So, yeah, it was just those two that I saw that just needed commas and then the duplication in the communication skills. Did anybody else have any comments with regards to the job description?
I just wanted to say I didn't know where we landed on the salary and what we were doing with the salary cap, so there is a blank for us to discuss. And actually Dave Elliott and I kind of worked on this project together, and I kind of just followed his lead. So I'm thankful for his experience in this type of work. So, but as far as the salary, I didn't know if we were raising it or if it was gonna stay the same at 70 or what.
I think we had discussed on Monday, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we were potentially going to raise that up to 80.
That's kind of the.
Is that what you remember?
consensus I got too.
Okay, depending on qualifications, experience, and all of that.
So is it gonna say 60 to 80?
I don't
It
know that
just says,
Up
right
to.
now it just says will be up to. Should we,
I think there should be a bottom line for sure.
That's the way we had posted it previously, and I just wanted to know if we were gonna be consistent.
Okay. That's fine,
So stick that in there, 60 to 80,
okay?
okay. Take out the words up to, just will be.
Right.
Okay.
Were there any other comments?
I don't have any comments on the job description itself. Are we gonna discuss how, when, and where we're posting this?
We should. So let's, if there aren't any other questions or additions or deletions, let's go ahead and entertain a motion to accept it with the amendments and vote on that, and then we can talk about how we're gonna get it
I'll make
posted.
that motion to accept this DDA Executive Director job posting as amended.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So in the past, we did post it on the municipal, do you know what that's called, Jennifer, the minutes?
Municipal League.
Yeah, MCL, is that what it is? Okay, and I think Tim has to help us with that. Because I think you have to have a membership in there, and I'm not sure exactly how that
Village
works.
has a membership, I believe.
Yes. And if there's a charge, just let us know and we'll figure that out. But I'd like to get it up there as soon as possible. I think we also got our LinkedIn page going, and that's another great tool, is to
Yeah,
get it out on
absolutely.
LinkedIn. And, I'm mixed on Indeed, just because I know people have a lot of trouble with that and spam and so forth, so, but I'll open it up for comment.
We use Indeed.
Do you?
No problems.
You don't have any problems? Okay.
I'm mixed. I've had a lot of great luck on there and bad luck on there as a therapist, so I don't know what it's like for municipal jobs, but it
Right.
can't hurt. It's
It
free,
can't
right?
hurt.
Sure, yeah.
So,
It can't hurt.
To boost it, but you don't have to.
sure, so the bigger the audience, the better. If
Yeah,
it's free.
absolutely. Are there any other avenues other than, I think we would also send it again to Oakland County Main Street and get their help in getting the word out and see if they're,
Our website, obviously.
pardon?
Our website.
Right,
Our website,
yeah, the
yes,
village
yes.
website. And
So-
then also, I would recommend reaching out to the Michigan Downtown Association.
Yes.
Which I have their contact info, but I believe they can also post it as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
So there's 5 that I've counted.
I counted 7.
Oh.
MML, LinkedIn, Indeed, Oakland County Main Street, your website, the village website, and Michigan Downtown Association.
7.
Okay.
And then can we also get it in the weekly newsletter again, too? And we can just drive them to the website if they want more information.
Are we going to determine and set a time frame on how long we're accepting applications for?
We
I
should.
think that would be good.
30 days?
Well, what does 30 days put us at? Christmas? No.
The end of the year, yeah.
Yeah.
If we
maybe
did the-
just to the end of the year.
Till the 30th of December, 31st would be the end, yes.
And then are you gonna use the same process that you did previously?
I think Hillary has a few suggestions to enhance that, but yes, as far as using the executive committee, but you want to speak to that?
Well, I would like for us to, because a lot of the people were a little frustrated that they didn't get like they were wondering if we received their application, so, and I did take the mission statement out of the application, or the position itself. So I'd like to see us send a confirmation email to each applicant, and kind of go over next steps. Just to let them know we're accepting applications until this. Please check our website, provide the link so they can educate themselves on our mission and vision statements, and just so that we're better with communicating, because when people are looking, especially if we're wanting the ideal candidates, they're gonna be wanting to have some, not just be hanging and wondering, because if people that are looking for jobs are actively looking for jobs, so I'd like to see that happen if possible.
I think that's a good idea. Anybody have any comments on that?
Just something to think about for whoever's doing whether it's callbacks or emails. If you get 40 or 50 applicants, is that a job that you want to sign up for?
Well, so I actually put for them to come to Linda, so Linda, what do you want to do?
Control X, Control V. Control X, Control V.
And, I mean, we could actually, you could just make like
A form
template.
letter,
Yeah,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
like a letter.
Control X is Control C, right?
It's copy and paste.
Copy paste.
Oh, I did X's, yes, you're right, you're right. Thanks for calling me out on that, because I would have just deleted them.
Control C is, Control V, copy and paste.
I was getting the gist.
Thank you, copy paste.
Is there some kind of weird thing that I'm not using?
And if it does get to the point of being overwhelming, I mean, I am
Well,
our secretary. I
And
don't
that
mind
would be a
helping.
good
Yeah.
problem to
That would
have.
be- Well, but that would also be a good role for the secretary.
Yes, it would.
So, yeah, I can help with that if need be.
Okay, and then just remind me again, who is on the executive committee, because I know we had a change. Are you on it, or is Holly on it?
I believe our new bylaws, we put that it's the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary.
Okay,
So-
there we are.
And we didn't list names, so that way it stays
Yes.
specific to that seat,
Okay,
because the
I
board
thought that
changes.
Dave also had a hand in some of the application review.
I think he was involved in the interviews.
process,
Yes, yes,
Okay, so not executive committee, just, he
But-
was, got it. Oh, 'cause
Right.
he had that HR experience.
yes,
Yeah.
It was
yes.
based on his experience.
Anything else with regards to this? Okay,
You've got the process, the callbacks,
Do
the
we wanna,
date, the
do we wanna
timeline.
do some sort of timeline, so we know what we're gonna do if we're doing the end of the year for applications? And as they come in, you're gonna let them know, we got it, and thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later if you're qualified. And then, what's the process come first of the year?
then I believe we, as an executive
I would-
committee meet, and we decide, are there applicants that we want to call in for interviews, and we set up the interviews. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so would that happen like the first week of January then, is that what we're saying? I'm just trying to expedite the process.
No,
because
I
we
know.
wanna stay on track
Yeah,
here.
I
No.
would think that the executive committee could, we could,
As you're saying that, I'm kind of wondering, like, if I were looking for a job, and especially if I was like kind of, I don't know, if I would say in between jobs, but would I want to wait almost 2 months before?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you get a great application, I mean, you have to wait until January 1st to call them for an interview.
Are you saying that we do it kind of concurrently? That if
I don't
we
know,
see
because-
some people that we really think are strong, that
But
we
then
might start the
you miss out on
interviews?
An opportunity of someone even stronger later on, but you might want to
So-
shorten the date, I don't know, we might want to.
well, the only thing is, everybody's business owners, and that's the Christmas shopping season.
Yeah.
So, I
So
mean,
you could
I'm
word
going
it-
to Texas, like, there's a
Go
lot
ahead,
of
April.
things going on.
You could word it that you'll entertain applications up until December 31st. That doesn't mean that you can't make decisions before then.
Oh, right.
Right,
So
Yeah.
if you had a great applicant, you want to interview them and bring them before, do it.
okay,
I love that.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I love that too. So up to,
Okay.
yeah.
Great, good feedback.
But the whole process, is that what you're wanting to know,
Well, I just
Jerome?
think we
Like
should
what-
have a plan,
Yeah, no, I agree.
so.
I mean, we should
You want
probably,
us to actually write it down and put it like on a
Wow.
PowerPoint? Because we can do that.
well, maybe just a time, he's like a solid something. Like maybe we can interview the second week in
When
January.
do you think you'll have a
or-
candidate you're gonna present to the board? That's what I'm asking. When will that be done?
It could be mid-December, if we get a good one.
So you would stop accepting applications?
No, I don't think, well, okay, I see what you're saying.
No,
Not interviewing, you're talking about actually bringing them before the board.
It still says entertain up to December
Yes.
31st.
Right.
You can run interviews in the interim.
Right,
Yeah.
so first part of January, mid-January? Maybe our January meeting?
January meeting.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a feel.
No,
for
I
it.
know,
If
I
you
know.
get somebody great, pull a special meeting,
Yeah,
try and find a date when most of us are available.
Yeah,
we don't want to let this person go, yeah.
Right.
Right,
I'd love to have that problem.
as would I.
so basically what I'm hearing is we're probably gonna do that in January, the first week of January.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that December, from a DDA perspective, is not as busy, and January is when we start working on budgets and,
Right.
our reaccreditation and all of that stuff, so that's
The perfect time for them to
Yeah.
jump into a new.
perfect time,
What?
yes.
Sorry, we're not talking about anything with the agenda. I was going to ask you questions, never mind. I'll ask after.
Okay, everybody good? All right, let's move into old business. We had talked previously about Main Street Oakland County Tech Funds. And we have been told by Oakland County that we can utilize those tech funds for legal fees. And that, being that our budget amendment has not been approved by council, and especially with moving into potential contract for a new employee, we probably are going to incur some legal expenses. So there's the opportunity, if the board so desires, that we could apply for those tech funds and move it into our legal. Open it up for discussion.
Sounds good to me.
When do we have to make a decision on the tech funds? Don't we have time?
Oh, you have until October. I mean, we just got the ones from the previous fiscal year. So if we want to postpone this discussion until January, we could.
Do we know the status of where we're at with the amendment to our budget? That, I think, didn't council say they were deferring it to legal?
Yeah, that was the last update I've heard as well. I know he's working on it.
I was just curious if there was any updates.
Not yet.
Okay.
I would expect Gildner to contact Tim and/or Linda or Jennifer the moment he's got some kind of answer.
But there's no timeline on that?
He was told to prioritize it.
Okay.
I just think it would be ideal to move the monies into a legal fee line item rather than use tech funds personally.
I'm with you. I don't think it's the best use of our tech funds. I think that, that's a grant that we can use for other projects. But it's out there as an option. So if we want to postpone discussion on this, we can do that. It's whatever the board desires.
Well, I'm concerned about we have an outstanding invoice for legal, don't we, for 2,000, and we only have 500 in our budget, so we need our expenditures getting paid. So if the money's not there, how is that gonna happen, or what's the?
Well, I thought we talked in our last meeting that Lisa had mentioned it could come out of contractual.
And I
Is
just,
that correct?
that's what I remember, but we have to ask Lisa what that case is.
Did you have any further discussion of that, Jennifer?
Yeah, so when I submitted the check request, it was 500 from legal fees and the rest from contractual services. Today, I met with Lisa and she said that it's pending legal review, so until we hear from the attorney, that will not get processed.
Okay. I do have, because I was doing a little poking at PA 57, there is a section in here that talks about how a DDA board may retain legal counsel to advise the board in the proper performance of its duties. The legal counsel shall represent the authority in actions brought by or against the authority. So the board may employ other personnel deemed necessary by the board. So it's not like it's something that doesn't happen on a normal basis. So I just wanted to bring that up rather than using tech funds for legal fees.
Well,
Plus, the process of getting the tech funds normally takes how long?
they're pretty quick
They're
on
really
it.
quick.
Yeah.
I want to say like 2 to 3 weeks.
I'm just curious, April, do you think that this will be something for your board this month?
Oh, the feedback from the attorney?
Yeah, for December.
I mean, should we have a conclusion on that this month?
I'm not Gildner, I'm not gonna try to
Well, I
speak
know
for
you're
him.
not, but when the council asks them to expedite something, I would think you would be expediting it.
I can't speak for Gildner, that is my answer.
I mean, we could always transfer the money back, we could always move the money out of legal if our budget amendment gets approved. And that would put the money in there that we need to pay our legal, Like if we put our tech funds in our legal, then we have the money to pay our legal.
I don't think you can do that.
I think they have to be specific earmarked for
You
Yes,
ask for tech funds,
Yeah.
they're gonna say, what's it for?
according to Oakland, Main Street to Oakland, not necessarily a budget thing. It's that if we apply for this grant, we have to use it for the intended
Oh,
purposes.
Gotcha.
You can also split the grant up, so all $10,000 does not have to go to legal. We could request 5,000 or 7,000, and then the remaining can go towards
Oh,
something else, so there's also that option as well.
okay.
We just haven't figured out what that is yet.
Right.
So we have two options here. We can go ahead and apply for the tech funds and use them for legal, or we can kind of hold off and wait and see what happens at the next council meeting to see if this gets resolved at that meeting. If it doesn't, we always have the ability to, again, to call a special meeting and make that decision right after council and do it that second week of December. So,
We would see what happens.
Yeah, I like the idea of waiting.
okay. All right, we will postpone that and then we'll keep it under old business. Next item under old business is our purchasing policy revision. I know that, thank you for your work on this, Hillary. When I had met with Lisa with regards to our purchasing policies, she thought that we were a little too tight on it. And in fact, she said she was going to be working on the village one as well to kind of increase those thresholds. So I don't know, that's a different issue, but why don't you go ahead and speak to this, Hillary?
So just in an effort to streamline our purchasing process, that was a little bit, I guess, cumbersome, and hopefully, you know, it worked better for our organization. The organization team met and kind of revised it. We studied other municipalities' purchasing, and this kind of falls in line with a lot of other DDAs in the area. And then also wanted to include about reimbursement. So,
You want to point out the differences? I mean, obviously, the amount for obtaining bids, you're not saying sealed bids, you're just saying 3 bids and then publishing an RFP in a public forum for anything over 25,000.
right, and can I ask Anna to come up and help with this discussion, because she's better like explaining these things than I am. And she did help me coordinate like on the changes. I actually don't have, I forgot my folder with the old purchasing. It's just,
Point of process, April, is that allowed or no?
I don't see why we can't have a presentation by another subcommittee member.
We'll consider it a presentation. So
Okay,
if you could step up, Anna, that would be great.
Okay, so me and Hillary were just trying to take the feedback of what's happened the past month or two and kind of streamline the process, but keep accountability. So what we noticed with a lot of other purchasing policies, not even just DDAs, just in general, school boards, townships, all of it, is there's a macro amount and then there's a micro amount. The macro amounts, this can vary depending on the municipality or whatever. So we did 25,000, but that can change depending on what the board thinks. So that amount is where anything over that, you would try your best to get 3 bids, put it in the newspaper and stuff if you need to, stuff like that. Where anything under that, as long as it's budgeted already or you have like a pending budget amendment, you don't need to do 3 bids. You should still do your best to get a good bid, not just spend willy-nilly. But if it's already a budgeted item, you shouldn't have to come to the board every step of the way with 3 bids, all that stuff. We just don't want to prevent people. If you need to spend $50 on bags for an event, we don't want you to have to go and get 3 sealed bids and all that. But even the micro purchases, we still wanted accountability. So you still have to get approval from the chair or the director. And then there was a lot of talk about travel. So we put a travel policy that reimbursement should be done within 30 days of the original submission. Mileage should go with the standard IRS mileage rate. And then meals up to $50 per day, excluding alcohol and stuff like that. Event supplies purchased personally for DDA events will be reimbursed for the actual cost processed within 30 days. Receipts are required. So, do you guys have any questions for me?
I think I just have one question. Which DDA policies does this one compare to?
Honestly, we looked at a lot. If you just Google DDA purchasing policy, a ton come up, and we just went one by one, and the macro and the micro, every policy has that we found, so, that framework.
And also, it kind of coincides more with kind of like how, in the past, when we have a director who has the credit card, the director uses the credit card to purchase the line item, like if we need whatever for the event, or boosting a post, and then it just when the bill is paid, it gets taken out of that line item for that, So it was just a lot easier in the past to do these, which hopefully we'll have a director soon, and we'll go back to having that ease.
It's just like you guys already prepare a budget and approve what you're going to spend in that budget. So we're trying to alleviate some of the double work. Like, since you guys have already gone through the budget process, like Kari with promotions, if you need to spend $1,000 on promotions, it shouldn't always have to come to the board. The board already approved that money for promotions.
Right.
But obviously, you should still have a checks and balance. You should still have to go to the chair or the director and say, is this okay? Yes. And then in there, the vendor selection standard, the DDA will strive to choose vendors offering the best overall value, considering price, reliability, quality of goods, services, and timeliness. So there is like some, that's more like ethics there. Like, you do want to make sure that the vendor you're selecting is good quality, good price, stuff like that. But we also didn't want to tie it to, it always has to be the lowest price, because sometimes you suffer quality for that. So,
Right.
So I think that this kind of narrows it down, keeps the important things, but also gives you guys leeway to be able to do your job.
One thing under vendor selection that I think we need to add, based upon my conversations with Lisa, is that if it is not a previous vendor of the village, we do need an I-9 for them. And so we probably should put that into our policy.
Yeah.
That doesn't apply to us if we're just getting reimbursed for expenses. It applies to a vendor that, and I think also we should, where possible, and put that in here, try to get invoices so that we can run it through the normal process. I know that's not always logical when we have to buy things on Amazon and so forth, but if we are using a different vendor for a service, obviously it should have an invoice, be detailed, and go through the process.
It does say all purchases, including micro purchases, must include documentation such as receipts, invoices, and/or quotes.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
My only thing with the W-9, like I'm gonna use Ladies' Night of an example. We have a local resident, his name is Sean Grugel, and he grew out his beard, facial hair, he's a great round guy, he's like doing Santa this year. And for our Christmas Around the World, I wanted Sean to come, but with the W-9 thing, he doesn't have a W-9. So, like, I couldn't ask a local person that's doing that service to come to and, work with us on our event.
We need to figure that out. I think W-9s are if you have a business.
Right.
But I think if you don't, it would fall under the guidelines of a 1099. And therefore, if it was over $600 a year, we would have to 1099 them. So we can check with legal and check with Lisa and see if there's a distinction with, in enlisting the services of somebody that doesn't necessarily have a business,
Right.
under Laura.
Right, because,
See how that
I
works.
don't know that he's ever gonna have a Santa business.
Right,
per
right.
se.
I think we can figure that out. Make sure that we're on good legal standing with it regards to that and financial.
For the festival, do you guys have? Oh, you have a Santa. Oh, okay.
1099, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for me?
No,
Thank you.
no, that's any of the board members did.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. So under travel and reimbursement, I think when we talked about this before, we talked about doing a max allowance instead of reimbursement. That way we just give you, and I think that that's important here because someone might choose a 5-star hotel when there is a 3-star one available. So, isn't there a different way to go about?
A per diem you're talking about?
Thank you, yes, that is the word I was looking for, yeah.
And I know there are companies out there that do that either in total or just for meals or, you know, however we want to do that.
Haven't we voted on that before, like when our director went out of town and was going to spend an amount of money to go to a conference?
I remember Nick went to
There was a
Boston.
per diem price that was line item budgeted for that.
And I feel
I
like,
believe-
didn't you guys fill me in that there's a way to look it up, like what the going rate is per state for a per diem?
Actually,
think that's
per
what Jim said.
city, because,
city.
you know, like Philadelphia is going to be very different
Sure,
than
then,
Pittsburgh.
sure, yeah.
So they,
diem by
and I know
city.
that in GM, they use that type of stuff, those guidelines. So I think they're out there.
I'd be in favor of that, I think strongly. That sounds like a, and then, you know, if you want to stay at a 5-star, you can. You just have to pay the difference.
Yeah.
For the conferences, don't they usually, I mean, a lot of conferences that I've gone to, they suggest like these, we've partnered with these 6 hotels. So could we just maybe look at when a conference is posted, whoever's going to attend, maybe an average of those 6 that they partnered with?
They usually do provide better rates
They
and,
usually do like a
and
group rate.
it is more convenient because a lot of times if the
Connected.
conference is in that
Or it's like
hotel,
walking distance or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Could we add a clause, like it could say per diem or the host lodgings? Something of that nature, the cost of the host lodgings.
Yeah. Do you understand what she's getting at?
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna
Like
come
at
up. I
Main
think it's
Street,
really that
the Main Street USA conference last year in Philly, they did have rates at like 2 or 3 hotels, and most of the, you know, conference was like in the one hotel, so it's really convenient, especially in the middle of winter.
right. Yeah, so,
Because that'll save you on Uber too if you get to
Yes.
stay where you're at.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's per diem by city or the host.
Okay.
There might be something with legal about purchases over $25,000. So I noticed under emergency purchases, it's saying the DDA director or chair may authorize an emergency purchase without competitive bids. I feel like we need to look into that.
Or put a dollar amount to it?
I
A
don't
limit?
know. I'm not sure. I think that there might be another legal ramification here. So I feel like I remember Tim or Lisa filling me in that only the village manager can authorize anything over a certain amount. And I don't remember what the amount is, but I think it was below 25,000.
well, and most of our purchases, I mean, these were going off of like other areas on the numbers. We don't have many of these types of purchases. I would anticipate, maybe when we build the public bathrooms, that would kind of, but we don't, I mean, our regular operations, we don't have like, so we can change the amounts. I mean, this is just a proposal. This is like I mean, we can change the whole thing. I mean, whatever, you know.
And it's subject to
Whatever,
legal
yeah.
review.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I mean, we're kind of needing, you know, I wanted some input, I knew that it was gonna change, so, and I could always make a working Word document if you'd like, you know, or a Google Drive and share it to,
And, you know, and we all have lots of examples, but I want to just bring one up that just happened like yesterday. With the Dickens Festival coming up, we were asked by Chief Narsh to look at some additional cones and so forth that we could use for no parking areas. And I did go out and looked at, he sent over U-line ones, and U-line, I know just from past experience, can tend to be pricey. And so I did look at Uline, and I looked at another traffic safety store, which looked really good until I saw the shipping price, which, cost, which was like astronomical, because these things are heavy. And so it ended up being, the best on Amazon. And so I have the documentation, and I had put this on my own business credit card for $730. And it's not only the cones, it's the rope that goes between them, it's the no parking signs that hang from them, and some safety vests for our volunteers. It's all valid purchases that we need for events. And we have the money in our promotions budget to cover this. But, you know, this is just another example of what should the process be for something similar to that, where we need it by next week.
Right.
I did get the competitive quotes so that, you know, we can turn this in. But, you know, what else needs to be done besides that?
I think with the budgeted line item, it's okay because it's in promotions, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I don't think it's bad to do that, to go out and look at different places, you know, that's just,
That's common sense.
yeah, yeah, that's just fiduciary
They sell them at Tractor
responsibility.
Supply, too.
Pardon?
They sell them at Tractor Supply also,
Oh, do they?
if you want them in person, but, I mean, no.
I also want to
that
add
is also-
that I don't know that that would even be a discussion if we had a director. So once we get a director,
Right.
things will be different.
Typically, the
director
director's
will
the
have a
one that
credit
does
card.
these.
Hillary,
Right.
what did we use
So-
for Art Nelly for cones? Did we have like enough cones to go through all of the parking spaces? We just used the tape?
It's a stretch. We don't have enough of the no parking
Okay.
signs. I mean, we made it work.
We did.
I mean, we did, yeah, but, you know,
But
that's what we
had
do.
cones. We just had cones, right?
You guys have caution tape too, if I remember.
Yeah,
Well, it was Meyer caution tape.
but some of them were
$5.
pretty spread out, you know,
Yeah.
but, I mean, we made it work.
Okay.
But theirs is gonna be nicer, cause it's rope. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome.
So there's something in between, micro purchases and $25,000. There's a lot of space in between there. So competitive bidding, that was the one with like the sealed bids, right? So what about regular bidding? You know, for all those jobs in between micro purchases and 25 grand. And, there was one other thing from the other purchasing policy, and that the village also has, that if you aren't, sourcing bids, it must be a one-of-a-kind business, like the Holly Post, with a letter explaining it approved by the board.
Okay,
I really like that part. I'd like to see something like that in here, because I think that that's kind of a bit of transparency about, we're not just, we're looking. We're not just picking someone and, you know, cutting corners.
Well,
Okay.
we generally do get we usually seek out 3 quotes, in general, so.
can you just put something in there about the one of the kind? You can just reference
And
the
that
previous
goes on
one,
the micro or macro?
It's just regular bidding.
just regular bidding, yeah.
So you might want to come up with an amount to go with that, about the difference between micro and regular bidding.
Okay.
Are there any other discussions? Next steps, Hillary?
So, when does the organization team meet again? We meet,
And we can't get it over to legal until we get that resolved, but at least we can have it teed up and ready to go.
right, so should I bring it back to our next regular meeting for us to review and then pass on to legal, or do we wanna do it before then, or?
I think, I'm willing to hear, but I think if we just bring it back to our December meeting,
Absolutely.
is that good, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Hillary. Moving on, public comment for items not on the agenda. Any public comments? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. Board comments, Hillary?
Oh my gosh, can you come back to me?
Okay.
I think there was something.
April?
Well, I don't have anything.
Okay.
It's always a first, right?
Trina?
Apparently it's the first for me too. I have nothing.
Okay.
I put, you didn't say my name yet, but I know it was next. I put a calendar of events that were, they're both DDA events and chamber events. We hammered out, got all the dates put together, so I gave you a copy of that to give you an idea. We're talking about working on getting a card done before Dickens Festival,
Awesome.
so. You're
Okay.
looking at me that look.
Oh, just,
Who's doing the card?
yeah, who's putting it together?
I don't know.
Did you say, I'd
Our
like us to
interim director.
revamp
No,
the card.
no, we're not gonna have one.
We need to,
How do we pay for said card? Is it this, somebody buys it and then gets reimbursed? Okay. We'll figure that out.
Maybe?
Somebody has to develop it. Somebody
yeah,
has to put
no,
the
I'm
card
talking
together.
about like designing the card.
Yeah,
Because
we
I would
have-
like for us to not use the same card as last year.
Agreed.
Not-
Do
I
we
don't like
have
that card.
that template? Is that
We
on-
do. Mhm.
So maybe we can take that template, put some more historical-ish photos, kind of like the previous card. Is everybody in agreement on that?
Well, I think we're in gray area here because board member comments is on the agenda, but also these are other items now.
Yeah.
So it's just gray area, just a heads up.
Okay.
So you'll come back to us with something, or you'll work on it?
Yep.
Okay. Anything for you? No? I would just like to bring up the letter that I sent to council. I just wanted to let everybody know that that was from the heart, and I really believe that if the DDA board and council can work together, that we can achieve great things. And in that light, I would ask council to appoint 2 individuals that could work with 2 individuals from our board. And I think probably you and I, April, should sit these out. And come together in January to look at projects that we might want to work on. This is a perfect time because we'll be working on our budgets. As long as they're within the TIF plan and they're within the DDA, let's figure out how to spend some of our money for the betterment of the community and the businesses. And I'd really like some input from council on that. I think that if we could get a work group together, that's not a quorum, and, see what they can come up with. I personally would like to see Jerome on there because it's gonna come out of his budget, most likely, which would be out of design. And I'm open if anybody wants to raise their hand, but maybe Dave might wanna be on it. He's not here, so you can always elect
He's
him
not here,
as.
so he can't say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you elect him as secretary of the bowling league, while he's not here, so, but if we could get that, that would be great.
Can you break it down, give me a 1-sentence summary so I can present this to council?
So.
What the ad hoc committee would be?
They would be working on ideas for projects that we, as a DDA board, could undertake next year. And within the DDA district, in line with our TIF, but things that might be near and dear to council's heart as things they'd like to see done, and benefit both our businesses and our residents.
and maybe it could be the Economic Development Committee.
That's Dave.
That's Dave.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. absolutely. Yeah, he should definitely be on that.
Does that help, April?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Jerome? Hillary?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
For-
It is 6:44. You guys thought I couldn't get it done in an hour, and meeting's adjourned.
I'm so excited.
Hey, James, bye, James.
But I want to pay her.